Welcome to a brand new channel where everything is tech and everything is cool. Welcome to Impossible Tech Tips. Now, you may know my other channel, Impossible Minecraft. We've did a little bit of computer stuff on there, but that is solely for Minecraft now and other games. Now, we're throwing everything tech into this channel. We are going to have series, we're going to upload as much as possible. It'll be pretty great. So today, we're upgrading my system to the Eclipse P300. Let's get started. So I have with me a old phanteks case that my dad built 6 years ago. As you can see here, black, plain, blue lights, you know, basic stuff. But we're throwing it to the new Eclipse P300, which is a very nice case as I've seen from other reviews and stuff. So let's get into this review and build update now. So first things first, grab whatever cutting tool you'll need to open up this bad boy box. I love that they have their own custom tape. It's pretty great. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Probably not. I have no razor blades currently down here with me. There you go. Just like that. Cut that phanteks case. It's actually pretty cool tape. Look at that nice tape that we're just killing. You know, who needs caution tape when you have phanteks tape? You know, I'll give up on that. Phillips screwdriver. I prefer this box not to be destroyed. There you go. Work it down. Oh, I just hit the case. Whoops. Now, there is the P400, but I saw that this case was reasonably priced with tempered glass right there. I think it's a mid-sized tower, and yeah. And it can have a 240mm radiator there, and then more 240s right there, single, and then a double right there. Now, yeah, when we're done with this build, you might question, why are you using the blue fans from the old case in this special edition red case? And my answer is, I don't have other fans yet, so I'm going to save up for other fans and custom cable mod cables and stuff. Let's pull this bad boy out. Hopefully you guys can see that well. Sit you there. And now, for the unboxing. Put it on its side. You can't get it out. Just, yeah. Just like, don't throw out the case, though. I should hire a cameraman. And then, to get it out far enough, go ahead, flip the box over, and then lift it up. Okay. 1 second. How much work does it take to get a case out of a box? Clearly a lot, because it's the cardboard handles that are the problem. This is why you open it from the bottom, kids. Push it back down. Pull your handles the other direction so that you can pull out this guy. Oh, I'm wasting so much time. And there you have it. Set that there. A brand new fancy smancy case. Now, let's get into getting this guy. Here we have the case on its top, well, upside up. Let's take that off. Let's pull this out. I really need to hire a cameraman really badly right now. And flip it back up. And there you have it. Now, oh, that does not look bad. Its color looks so much better than in the pictures. Like, it's a really nice red. Pretty solid construction. Not the most solid for $60, but you know what? Sometimes you have to sacrifice a little bit of stuff for beautifulness. But I mean, the wow factor on this is amazing. I love this already. Like, I mean, so I can see there's, like, oh my gosh, this is such a good case for its price points. I can, whoa, don't break any glass side panels. So here we have pretty much screwless construction for the extension cards. You unscrew from back here, which I think is a good and bad method. You can put in a graphics card vertical, which is nice. You have pretty much everything. I mean, there's a RGB strip right here. That little white strip, that's RGB, fully customizable. They include a 240mm fan in the back. They already have standoffs for you. Everything's wired up and ready to go, pretty much. So, yeah. Let's start taking out the hardware from the old system. And I'll grab my magnetics part. Oh, we're recording. Well, I almost forgot to tell you other features also. It has multiple dust covers, fully magnetic, all over the place. There's one down here, but yeah. And then, yeah. So you can install 240mm radio there, single, 240 there, single, and one's along the back. Well, the front, I mean. But yeah, now let's actually take out the hardware. Now we are going to take everything out of this. Make sure to grab your magnetics parts tray. And I would suggest a magnetic screwdriver. I couldn't find my super nice snap-on one, so I just grabbed a random Phillips screwdriver. Go ahead, take out whatever screws you need to get this guy out. So, you might say this is not a great system for gaming. I would say that only my processor isn't. Other than that, it's great. I love it. It's about 6 years old, so it was great for that time period. So this thing rocks an EVGA GeForce GTX 950, which currently they're not making, so it's for sale for like, oh yeah, this is also for the Win Edition. It's for sale for about $250, I think it was last time I checked, when I wanted to get another for SLI. But yeah, I'm going to get another graphics card soon. More on that later, maybe in the video. But yeah, fairly simple. You pull back both tabs. I haven't done anything with this motherboard recently. I think that should pop out. One. I'll be back. You must remove those screws first, and then it will come out. I mean, that is not a bad. I didn't even peel off those. Well, my dad didn't even peel off these stickers. What a disgrace. Look at that. That is top-notch, beautiful. Oh, if I can get the other one off. Like, that is not actually a bad card to look at. Like, that is so clean. I love that card so much. Let's set that over here. I love this graphics card. It just looks so nice. Okay, next we have just the random sound card. I forgot what company it is. I'll find the links for everything and leave it down below in the description. So yeah. We also have a little USB card that I'm taking out with the sound card. So yeah. I'll flip that. Where did that screwdriver go? I'll find it at some point. Sound card, USB card, flip. If I can get it out. I'll find that screw in just a second. But yeah, fun. Next, remove all your hard drives or SD cards or whatever if they're in a cage that interferes with everything. Next, unplug everything that the power supply is connected to and everything from the motherboard so that all of this hard drives can be taken out easily and quickly so that you will not have to deal with the hassle of taking out your motherboard later. So yeah, I will do this. At this stage, pull out all your cables and remove your power supply with whatever mounting mechanism it uses. These ones use thumb screws, but when this was originally built, it was tightened really tight. So yeah, just go ahead and remove those. Make sure to keep track of what screw goes where, because the larger ones on this case go on the outside of the case and the small ones actually screw into like the power supply and other components that need it. So yeah, I will do this real quick. Hopefully this video is only like 45 minutes at most. Another thing that I really like about this case is it has this little thing right here. It has another one on out there so that you can actually put a lock on the computer so no one can steal components from it and pull out your power supply. I'll be upgrading all this soon, getting custom cables and upgrading everything in the system later, like the cooling solution also. But right now we're rocking a solid CX600 from Corsair. It's actually not way too bad looking. I love Corsair products. They're just amazing. But yeah, all that stuff. Now, on to getting all of our fans out. So for this, we'll actually have to remove this side panel for this case. Hi, graphics card! We'll have to remove the side panel to get out the front pans because the wire is looped behind there. We could remove it in theory with only taking off the front of the case, but I think it will be easier if we just take off the side panel also for all the cables. And now go ahead, pull off your side panel. Oh, I hate building computers one-handed. It's not that I don't like you guys, it's just difficult. Oh, whoops. Hopefully you guys had a fun ride. Yeah, cool. Okay, now we are back. That was very eventful. Let's remove that side panel. Set it over here. And yeah, there's where everything these are the only zip ties in the entire system, by the way, so yeah. Now what you want to do for this part, on this certain case, you want to pop out the front of the case. I'll show you why in just a second, because who wants to remove all those compression screws? This is why you just have thumb screws to take it out. So yeah, I will go ahead and get all these out, and then I will be back to you guys in just a second. Make sure that all your cables are easily able to be pulled out when you remove the fan. So how this works, you pretty much just unscrew the thumb screws, and then you just pretty much just swing it out, pull out these, See, I don't think we do need to unscrew some screws. So I will go ahead and do that in just a second. Once I get all this through. Maybe. Yeah, I'll do that in just... We now have all 3 fans out. They are just standard phanteks ones that came with the case. They have 3 speeds. This one only has 2, but yeah. This is a 240mm that went on the top, and then some 120mm. So yeah, wait. Yeah. Cool. So, we have almost all the hardware out. Now, for the centerpiece of the build, we have 16 gigs of Corsair Dominator, I believe. 1 second. 16 gigs of Corsair Vengeance LP. DDR3 RAM. And just remember, this isn't a build that is way too great in this era of computers. It was great 6 years ago. And we have a stock cooler that will be going in a month or 2, or a couple weeks probably actually. And then we have a Corsair 320M, which is really old and slow with like 4 cores or something. But yeah, an Asus board. I love this board. Well, not love it. It just looks decently clean. It won't look the best underneath that tempered glass. The cooling fan will look horrible. It'll look decent. So pretty much just remove all of your case, the motherboard screws from the motherboard standoffs. And yeah, we will do that, and we will be back with you. Also remember to remove your I/O shield if you would like to have that. Now we can all say goodbye to the old case. It was great knowing it. Oh yeah, funny story. Just barely, while I was taking out all of the motherboard screws, 2 of the standoffs came out. So pretty much what you want to do when you do that is just keep screwing out until just it can be removed. Grab a pair of pliers, clip onto the standoff that's stuck in the board, and then just screw it out. And that should get it unstuck. So now we say goodbye to the old case, and it will probably be used another day. But now we have a new case to be the head of IMG. Welcome, the phanteks P300. Let's get all this stuff off so that we can get the phanteks over here. Now, that can only support 2 hard drives and 2 SD cards. SSDs. So I'm going to be putting in 2 of my 500 gigs. That, I don't want that one. I'm not sure which one though. Forgot which one's the boot and which one has everything else. I'll just connect another with USB. So yeah, I'll get this on the table. We can start the build. Now with this case, it comes with tons of dust filters. The front simply just pops off by pulling it off. And I have found my accessories box. There's very few accessories, but I couldn't find it inside the case. So I mean inside the actual box that the case came in. So I'm glad that they included at least some. Looks like they have a little bit of information and then tons of screws and zip ties so that your build can look as clean as possible, which I appreciate. So pretty much you want to start off with inserting your power supply. So go ahead and grab whatever power supply you want to use. Make sure everything is out of the way so that you can mount it. Let's remove our graphics card and hard drives and magnetics parts tray. And yeah. Now, make sure you orient it correctly because lots of cases and power supplies have different mountings. This one uses the fan on the bottom for mounting in. Simply just slide it in sort of, yeah. Make sure your cables don't get stuck on anything. I'd suggest a modular power supply for this case, because, yeah. But currently, I don't own one of those. So, and go ahead and just find how it orients in. I will be back once that is done. So what you want to do first is grab your motherboard wherever it might be. You want to put this guy in first, not the power supply, because there's a ton of headers and stuff on this case that actually loop through the bottom, and you will want to get all of those plugged in before you plug in the power supply so that they are not lost and you can never plug them in again. So pretty much what you want to do is just make sure that all of these are out of the way when you lift this guy in. But first things first, grab your I/O shield, place it against your motherboard for reference where it will have to go. Then just all you have to do is bring it up here, make sure that no cables loop behind it, and then firmly press it in. And you'll hear clicking when it's in. Yeah, this might not be black. I'll spray paint it later or find some other one that will work. So yeah, just go ahead, click it all in. Okay. And once it's all in, you can lift your motherboard in. Make sure that no cables get stuck beneath it. And yeah, go ahead and screw it in. And I will have all your cables routed around your motherboard so it is laying flat on all the standoffs. Go ahead and screw in all of your standoffs that you have so that your motherboard is firmly in place. Once you have your motherboard plugged in, plug in all of your I/O so that it's all ready to go when you... Once that power supply is in, you want to come to the front or the side, wherever you are putting your hard drives and SSDs. You want to pull them out. You want to put in whatever hard drive you're using. For this, I'll put in the WD blue. You want to make sure that the connectors in the back are facing towards the back of the case. And then you will simply just line it up and pop it in. And once you have all of that all done, you want to pretty much just run the wires for the power and the SATA cable from the motherboard down to the back so that that's all done and you do not have to worry about that later. After you get your hard drives installed, go ahead and plug all the power into the motherboard, like the 8-pin and the 24-pin for that, and then I will be back to you once you are done with that. Once you are that, grab whatever graphics card you're using. If you are using a graphics card, go ahead and first things first, before you put it in, make sure to find which of the I/O plates you will need. In this case, we'll need the second and third one, not the ones I pointed out to you. So go ahead, remove the screws for those, and then once you do, I'll be back with you to install the graphics card. Also in that step, make sure to remove all the other backplate shields for other accessories. So at this point, plug in your graphics card, and it's kind of odd, you have to like push it behind. Make sure to tuck your wire behind if you have one of those. Yeah, we will be back once we're done wiring it. Now I was having trouble installing my graphics card. Remove these two back screws right here and right here so that this entire back plate comes off, and then it will be much easier to install. So yeah, just go ahead, remove that bad boy, set your screws somewhere safe, and yeah. And now you can install it. Just easily. No compromise there. So yeah, go ahead and install your graphics card, screw it down, and all the other expansion cards, and we'll be back with you once you're done. Now that we've gotten all of our expansion cards plugged into the motherboard and plugged firmly into the back, now it's time to run power to your graphics card and whatever else needs it. So run it through the side or bottom bezels. And once you got all that done, now it's time to put in your fans, which might be a little bit late, but you know what? Let's do it. So go ahead, install your fans wherever you want, and loop your cabling. Make sure that your fan, you know which way your fan spins, so that you can have the airflow going wherever you want. Now we have all the fans screwed in. These ones, and yeah, all three. Now it's time to plug them into the power supply and stuff, so we will do that. We've got our build all done. Now for the best part of any tempered glass. Oh, look at that. Fresh. Then you can peel off the sticker, and yeah. But yeah, let's see if it still powers on right after I get this off. Oh, glad that didn't leave any marks. That looks really clean, actually. You can't really see into it. I'll plug this in right there. Fancy, fancy. And now, to see this in action. Power. Oh. Would you look at that? It still runs. Let me go, let's see, what does this use? I will go and grab a converter, then we can see if it still posts. So I booted up my system, and it overheated. So I ran over to Best Buy, and grabbed myself some Thermaltake TG7, which should be pretty good. So pretty much when this happens, you want to clean off your cooler and CPU completely, and yeah, we'll get back to you once that is all done. Okay, so it's all cleaned off, pretty much. So pretty much you want to take out your thermal compound, whatever you decide to use. This is fairly high rated. If you want super great performance, Icy Diamond, Thermal Grizzly, those are great too. But this was $8, and it works well. Comes with a little spreader, if I can get it out. Yeah. I'll get that out real quick. There you go. Go ahead and unscrew the cap on the, or take off the cap on the thermal compound. Take it, put about a pea-sized amount. There you go. Then put the cap back on so that you can use it later. And if you want to take the spreader, just evenly spread it out some. Not way too much, but just make sure there's a good coverage, because you do not want it to overheat at all. But I went to Best Buy because the old thermal compound stopped working, and my PC at idle with like 9% load. The CPU was at what, 200 degrees Fahrenheit. But yeah, once you got good amounts, go ahead, take your cooler, set back on. So it all boots and works. Now for the case review. So, this is a great case for the $60 that I paid for it on the time of shooting. It has tempered glass, a little bit of RGB, plenty of cable management, and I mean, it's a great case for the price. Things that I'm not in love with, but are really good ideas that they included, was this back thing. I'm not sure if you could see it, but the screws are on the outside, which is good and bad, I guess. It can be a little bit confusing to plug in and unplug graphics cards and stuff. But other than that, I mean, I think that's really it. On the drive cages, you have to orient the drive so that it's facing towards the front of the case for the connectors, which I wish it would face the back, but I kind of get what they were doing there. But other than that, it looks really nice. I'll still use the older case at some points, but for now, this will be my new build. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is part 1 of rig updates. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys.